Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Davenport and welcome to Exploring Animal and Plant Science. Today we are talking about swine production systems. How are pigs raised? So, over the last couple of weeks we have been looking in depth about how we raise animals, how we care for the animals and handle them, how we prevent and treat diseases, what we call animals in certain species. And so what we're getting ready to go into over the next few weeks is we're going to be looking at specific animal species and how they are raised and cared for within agricultural production. So today we are looking specifically at our friend the pig. And I want to adjust that just a little bit. There we go. So, first of all, right, this is what I want you to do with our beginning thinking here, okay? We need to be able to think critically today. And to do this, we need to start out with a piece of paper and something to write with. I want you to create a T-chart on your paper. So how we do that is we draw a large capital T and we label the left side pros and the right side cons. So pause this, and when you are ready, press play again. All right? Create that T-chart, pros and cons. So, welcome back. Here's the situation. Let's pretend that we've been informed that the global environment is way off balance and that all living creatures have to decide if they're going to live indoors or outdoors for the rest of the year. And so at the top of your paper, at the tippy top, okay, the top, I'm pointing to the top, you need to write, you need to choose how you want to live. I want to live inside or outside. So when you make your decision, right, I want to live inside or I want to live outside at the top of your T-chart. Then I want you to take a few minutes, and I'm going to give you a solid 2 minutes. And I want you to write down the positives and the negatives, the pros and the cons of your decision. So you're going to have 2 minutes to come up with the pros and cons of how you want to live, either inside or outside. I'm going to zoom in the screen, and then I am going to make myself disappear. And after that, you are going to have 2 minutes to complete this work. All right, 1 minute is complete right now. One more minute. All right, got about 30 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. You should have had completed your T-chart. So, think about this, all right? Did you choose to live outdoors? Did you choose to live indoors? Did your pros and your cons balance out? Was this an easy decision? What were some of those determining factors about whether you wanted to live indoors or outdoors in the growing climate instability? So what we've done is we have just walked through one method we can use to make a decision. And for more difficult decisions, it is always good to write down on a piece of paper the pros of a decision and the cons of a decision. Recording our thoughts allows us to make an informed decision and be prepared about what could happen next. So, in knowing that, agricultural productionists, farmers, people involved in agricultural production, and people involved in livestock production, they have to make decisions about how they are going to raise their livestock. They have to make a very similar decision. Are they going to raise their animals inside or outside? So, guys, there is no global off balance. There is no global issue. But it's important to understand that livestock producers have to make decisions and look at the advantages and disadvantages about when animals go and live outside. So, whether or not pigs are raised in outdoor production or in totally enclosed barns and indoor production, systems approaches dominate pork production. Repeatable methods and specialization characterize the modern pork producer regardless of the types of facilities that are used. The choice of facility is mainly a balancing of capital investment. That is the money that has to be invested in a building or in land in order to build and support a flock of pigs. It also is looking at the labor requirements of a production system and the management expertise of the person managing those the farms. Animal and worker welfare is the primary concern to producers, regardless of the types of facilities used. And so the key to good swine care rests more on the producer's ability to manage properly the housing than it does the specific type of housing that they provide. So what it comes down to is there are advantages and disadvantages for producing swine indoors and outdoors. And so I've got an article that I want y'all to read later on today after you watch this video that's going to short and sweet describe those advantages and disadvantages. But I wanted to quickly give a comparison and an overview. All right, so the title of that assignment is Pork Production Today. That is the title of the assignment that you are going to look at when you finish this video. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of the indoor and outdoor production systems. So let's start with indoor. Indoor production systems are defined as environmentally controlled buildings that house swine and livestock at similar stages of development. The positives there's a low labor output. Basically, it's less work to raise these animals inside of a controlled environmental building. You don't have to range the animals and walk through fields as much because all the animals are in one place. Also, using controlled buildings uses less land because you can have animals kind of placed in the buildings instead of spread out all over a field. Indoor production systems also makes handling the hogs easier. It protects both the animals and the workers from the heat, rain, and cold. It also provides a more direct observation of the animals because it is more easily accessible to walk through a building that the livestock are in than it is to range over a field to try to track down each animal. And it also allows for a greater control of the production timeline. You know that you have animals that are sheltered in the same stage of development in each house. The negative is that indoor production systems are more expensive. They're more costly. They have to be heated. They have to be cooled. They have to be built. And there's concrete involved. There's metal involved. So overall, indoor production systems are very, very expensive compared to outdoor production systems. Well, let's look at the pros and cons of outdoor production systems. The positives are that there's a lower capital investment. That means that you can get started with a lower investment of money. Okay, that's because the indoor production starts off as more expensive. So how do we define outdoor production? These are outdoor systems where swine have access to the outdoors and shelter buildings, but they're not environmentally controlled. Okay, so they may have hutches or they may have barns that they are able to access, but they are not encased in an environmentally controlled building. They are at the mercy of the weather. Now, they can shelter under shelters and barns and hutches, but they're still very much out in the weather. Another positive of outdoor production systems is that you can use lower quality land. Basically, you don't have to have and worry about a lot of the same drainage problems that you would with indoor production systems. And so you can use land that's a little more marginal. The negatives is that you have to use more land in order to have these animals spread out over a larger field, a larger area. There's more work, there's more labor per pig than there is inside of an indoor production system. And overall, there's lower productivity because a lot of the times you're dealing with smaller numbers of pigs than you are in indoor production systems. So all of the phases of a pig's life are spent in one of these production types, or some farmers use a combination of the two. If you were a pig, which production system would you prefer to live in? And think about it. Why? So with that, we're going to take a look at the stages of a pig's life. So in your mind, think about all the milestones that you've experienced in your life. So what are some of those milestones? Taking your first steps, crawling, brushing your own teeth for the first time, getting glasses, getting braces. All of these things are milestones in a human child's life. Livestock experience similar milestones in their lives. Today we're going to explore some of those milestones in the life of swine. As we review these stages of pig's life, you might want to write down some of these stages and some of the things that happen in these stages of the pig's life as we continue through. It might come in handy someday. So, let's start off. So, first, the first stage of the pig's life, when they're born, the piglets are called the farrowing stage. These are piglets from birth until approximately 3 weeks old, and they weigh 10 to 15 pounds. Once they reach that 10 to 15 pound mark, or they reach 3 weeks of age, they move on to the next level. But during this time in the pig's life, the mothers, the sows, they're placed in individual farrowing pens or stalls. This separates the piglets from the mother with basically a wall. But the piglets have access to their mom in order to get that colostrum, that milk. This protects the piglets, which range from a litter of 9 or 10 pigs, from getting crushed by their mom accidentally. This also protects the piglets and the workers from the sow's protective nature, because female sows, female pigs, can get pretty ornery when you're messing with their piglets. Now, in their life, a few things happen during the farrowing stages, usually within the first week and a half to 2 weeks. So this is the stage when farmers lose the most piglets. They will die. And so they take several protective measurements until they're about 3 days old to protect their young. So the things that they do, we've kind of talked about. These were the livestock management practices, with a few extra things. First, we disinfect their navels. We basically, from where they're born and the umbilical cord was attached, we clean it and we disinfect it so that bacteria will not grow around the wound. We clip their needle teeth, and so that they don't injure each other, or they don't injure the other pigs or their mom. They are given a supplemental iron shot. Their tails are docked to keep their tails from being cannibalized and eaten by their brothers and sisters. And the young males are castrated so that they will not later injure other pigs or workers. So after the farrowing stage, okay, they move forward to the nursery stage. So once they've reached 3 weeks old, or 10 to 15 pounds, they move to the nursery stage. And the nursery stage lasts about 3 weeks. Okay, so it's pigs that are 3 weeks old, or 9 to 15 pounds, until they're 40 to 60 pounds. And I misspoke. It lasts longer than 3 weeks. I was reading that wrong. Apologies. So this is when pigs are housed in slatted floors that lets the waste fall clean through, and this helps keep the pigs clean. This is especially done in indoor production systems. Pigs are fed 5 different diets throughout this period to get them from that 10 to 15 pound range to that 40 to 60 pound range. And these diets are altered and changed to meet the needs of the pigs so that they can gain and stay on their schedule. The next level is the grower finish, or the grower finisher phase. These are pigs that are moving from the nursery that are 9 weeks old, or they're 40 to 60 pounds. And they stay in the grower finisher phase until they are approximately 265 pounds to 275 pounds. At this point, the reason they call it grower finish is because we are focused on the growth and development of the pigs, getting them to that 265 pound mark. Although the types of housing vary, they are kept as clean as comfortable as possible to ensure high rates of gain. And again, just like in the nursery, The diets are adjusted to meet the needs of the specific pigs in that stage of their growth to keep them growing to the 265, 275 pound point. The next level. This is the market level of the life of the pig. This is pigs that are weighing approximately 265 pounds or more, and the pigs are marketed to a terminal or a live market. That terminal markets are where the animal is slaughtered and turned into barbecue, sausage, ham, pork loin, pork chops. Live market is where it's sold to a farmer or a producer in order to get what we need and what the farmer needs in order to produce for their flock. So, as we discussed earlier, a pig has certain milestones in their life, just like we do. Throughout their life, they're fed different diets, and they mature through their life on those different diets to get bigger and gain for production. Regardless of how they're housed in whether indoor or outdoor facilities, the main role of the producer, the main role of the farmer, is to make the pigs as comfortable as they can be in order to produce high quality meat for their consumers. Our final look today is looking at the timeline of a pig's life in its most simple form. All right, so we're looking from farrow pig to nursery to grow or finish to market. Okay, we are looking at the age of the pig and the weight of the pig in this case. So a farrow is a pig from birth until approximately 3 weeks old, or 10 to 15 pounds. A nursery swine is a pig from approximately 3 weeks old and 10 to 15 pounds until they are 9 weeks old or 40 to 60 pounds. A grower finisher pig is from approximately 9 weeks old or 40 to 60 pounds until they reach approximately 265 to 275 pounds. And then your market swine is a pig that's weighing approximately 260 pounds or more, and they are going to a terminal market. All right, guys, this ends our look at how pigs are raised today. Keep a look at all of the work that you have coming up in the next few days that are going to help add some clarity to how our pigs raised. Thank you, and have a good day.